Oh my god, Dan sounds like all professional Mikey.
Yeah, today is a better day.
Hello.
Today is a magic day.
Hey, Brian.
Hi.
Hey,
How
buddy.
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm just ducky.
Good. Ducky.
Just
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Spoilers for the next episode of Game of Thrones.
No,
No.
don't you
Oh.
dare.
Dude,
Hovering over the hang up button right now.
it's really good.
I'm betting it was.
You guys haven't watched... Well, are you guys all caught up?
I am caught up
not
to
really,
last
no.
week's.
Oh, last week's okay.
Yeah.
I caved. My guilty conscience made me subscribe to HBO.
That is totally acceptable, Dan.
Yeah. It's actually pretty good. There's a lot of good shit on that.
There
Yep.
is.
Yeah.
You get access to the on-demand stuff, too.
Yeah, HBO Go, HBO On Demand, all those movies, all those, what was it I was just watching?
All
Oh,
that HBO goodness.
Band of Brothers. Yeah, I was watching that again for like the
Pacific was on. Occasionally they put up their series, too. Like, I think right now it's not Dead. 6 Feet Under. They've got the entirety of 6 Feet Under on the Canadian one, anyway.
You guys ever seen Carnival?
Oh, dude. Have
head
you watched the whole thing, or did you just start?
No, I watched the first season and then I stopped watching it. I guess there is a second season though, isn't there?
Yep.
Yes. If you're ready for some heartbreak, I'll spoil it early. It
No.
doesn't end.
No, I heard they didn't finish it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was like it's sort of like that was the lead into. Well, if we can do some fucked up shit for this, let's do Game of Thrones. That's what I heard anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that works.
HBO has been doing fucked up shit ever since The Sopranos came on the air. I mean...
Yeah, fuck that show.
What's a soprano?
The Wire.
It's a boy with a very high voice who sings in a choir.
Hey yo.
Oh lordy. Yeah.
So video games.
That's a thing we do, right?
I guess so.
We play them
Sometimes, yeah.
on occasion.
Occasion.
I did a lot this weekend.
did?
Yes, you did.
I saw your Steam pop-ups come up every so often.
You still have those enabled?
Yeah,
Shit, I turned that crap off.
I creep your shit all the time, yo.
Wow.
Huh?
Should I be?
Yep.
That's fine. That's
A
fine.
little bit, yeah.
I
Definitely.
like it when you watch.
I'm glad you do, because I do.
Sweet. I also like it when our listeners watch me play video games on YouTube or Twitch.
Is there
Heyo.
anything in that regard, or do you have any new Let's Plays or Let's and?
Well, define new. I've put up more videos. Mostly just miserable or hilarious. Well, I guess it's kind of the same when you're playing Spelunky. Miserable and hilarious Spelunky runs.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys like that game so much. I really.
Did you get past the tutorial
training?
this time?
No.
Jesus Christ, Dan.
Well, then I'm not surprised that you don't understand why we like it so much.
I'm waiting to get a proper controller because that was the problem in the first place.
Yeah, you'll need that. You really will.
You were keyboard and mousing at first?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, no, horrible mistake.
Yeah, Z to attack. Come on, what?
Yeah,
This is ridiculous.
no.
Yeah, so no, okay. So what else have you been playing, Brian?
What else have I been playing?
Or what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? I picked up Dark Souls 2.
I noticed.
Yeah, right. You're day and date with that one.
Not quite. I picked it up yesterday. So.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a great game. It's a really good game.
In what way?
In what way? It
In the same
takes
way
everything-
a heroin addict enjoys that fix. Yeah? No?
You had to go and make it weird, didn't you?
Just
A
to get
little
a
bit.
bump. Gotta get that.
Sorry, Brian. Carry on.
It's a more finely honed experience this time. It's definitely as merciless as the first two Souls games, but it feels a little more user friendly. I don't know what it is, whether they've tightened up like the combat timing or or I'm not sure exactly what it is. The controls feel a lot tighter than they were before, and there's still moments where you get murdered and you know it's your fault. So, because the game likes to make you feel bad about yourself that way.
Yeah,
but
as it should.
Yeah, it's a really well put together experience this time, and I did the standard thing I did with Souls games. I rolled up like 3 different characters, played them all to like sort of the starting area, and tried to determine which one I was going to actually continue playing. And I've stuck with the cleric so far, and it's going pretty well. I've managed to make it through 3 or 4 boss fights so far.
Oh,
so I'm through kind of the real sort of newbie starting areas of the game, and it's going pretty well. I'm enjoying it a lot, and the mechanically it's a little bit different from the way Dark Souls 1 was. There's a bit more like that. You don't get like 10 Estus flasks right off the bat. You get 1, and but they give you other means to heal yourself to kind of replace that, right?
You still have to do the whole campfire thing?
Oh yeah. But now they give you. See, the thing is, now they give you the ability to, to warp between the bonfires right from the get-go.
Oh, okay,
cool.
That's good. Yeah.
So there's fast travel baked into this one, and they also give you the ability to store meaningless objects from your inventory, in kind of a second inventory that you don't carry around with you all the time. They give you basically, like, to put it in sort of MMO terms, they give you a bank right off the bat. So that helps clear up a lot of the inventory stuff. The UI is much more user friendly. Like, you're one button press away from finding out what any number in that vast wall of numbers actually means. And so far the multiplayer that I've had in it has been trouble free and very, very rewarding. It's been a lot of fun. For 3 of the 4 bosses I fought, I've summoned people in and did some jolly cooperation. And it's been a really good time so far.
You also neglected to mention one critical key thing.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the game worked without being modified.
Yeah. It's a good PC port, and on a mechanical level, it runs like really fast. It's smooth. There's no frame rate problems. There's no display issues. It runs at 1080p right out of the gate.
Nice.
Visually, the game is absolutely gorgeous. Like it's really a joy to behold. Like some of the scenes in that game are just amazing. And in true Dark Souls fashion, they throw in some stuff that's right near the beginning you really shouldn't touch until you're way further along. So it's been a lot of fun so far.
So how come the cleric and not the sword and board typical, power your way through? What was the reasoning for that?
Because clerics can heal themselves and throw friggin' lightning bolts at people.
They can melt faces? Is that what you're saying?
What's not to like?
That's true.
Brian requires a little bit more finesse out of his game.
Yeah.
Well, there's certain things that you require for every Dark Souls character. You need to be able to mix shit up at close range. You need to be able to have some kind of ranged attack, and you need to be able to heal yourself.
Right.
And the cleric basically does all 3 of those. So it's also like, in terms of like, also another thing to keep in mind with the Souls game, it doesn't really matter what class you start as.
Right.
Because that's just kind of a jumping off point. That's basically like, did you jump into the pool from the 2-meter board or the 5-meter board? It doesn't really matter. Because in the end, you end up getting wet anyways, right? I mean, where you go with your character is entirely up to you. Like, you put your points where you want them to go, and that'll determine what gear you have access to and what abilities you have. So, the cleric just kind of started out with the best sort of starting stuff. It's actually the highest level of all the starting classes. Like, the different classes actually start at different levels.
Really? Huh.
So the cleric actually starts furthest along, which is kind of a trade-off because it means you have the most points and attributes, but it also takes you more points to level up.
Okay.
The higher level you get, the more points it takes you to increase your attributes. Or the more souls. I shouldn't say points, I should say souls.
So that was a balancing decision that you did that?
Yeah. I tried like I said, I tried 3 characters straight off the bat and just ran around with each one of them, did kind of the newbie area, and I picked the one that felt the best.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
So you recommend that one then?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Uncategorically, just it's a great game, and if you've enjoyed any Souls game up to this point, this is a really good place to jump in.
I think I might check that one out. I'm going to pass on Dark Souls 1
Mm-hmm.
and get into this one.
At this point, I'd say that's probably a safe decision.
Yeah. I didn't like some of the technical reasons why I didn't like Dark Souls, the first one, rather than aesthetic or gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was always PS3 for those as well.
Yeah.
Or Xbox. So, I mean, if you really feel the need to go back, they work just fine on the consoles.
And anything else you played?
Yeah, I kind of played. I went back to the original Dark Souls 2 and or the original Dark Souls as well, I should say, just to sort of do a side by side compare and contrast. And yeah, that really cemented in my mind that this is definitely the game to play. Aside from that, I've been playing the regular Binding of Isaac and Spelunky. A little bit
usual, yeah.
Yeah. The usual suspects.
Your standards. Yeah.
Yep. Tried to record some Spelunky gameplay this weekend, but I ran into some technical issues. Or not Spelunky, some Binding of Isaac video.
Yeah. Oh, I kind of want to see that one when you get
Yeah. Yeah, I had some issues with it, but I'm going to try and get that done tonight after we're done here. So.
Cool. I got some video I'm going to put up eventually, but get to me. Do you guys want to talk about my game? Okay.
Let's talk about you, Dan.
Awesome. This is the best part of the show, in my opinion. Where did I? Well, I wanted to play a fleet management game, like lots of missiles and fighters, so I fired up Fleet Command from the late 90s. And I mean, it was a game that was made before the middle mouse button was a thing, so you can. It was very frustrating and does not hold up well graphically or control wise. So, you actually have to write down mission orders for that game to work. To get orders, and then you have to write it down to go to these waypoints. So I put that little toy away, and then I installed Homeworld 2.
Nice.
Ooh.
That game is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it holds up very well.
Mm-hmm.
That was made in 2003, and it's hard to believe. It feels like it was made... Like, it could have been made in 2008 or, earlier. It looks really well. It looks really well done. I forgot how hard that game was.
Yeah.
It does not pull any punches.
The gloves come off in Homeworld 2, that's for sure.
There's one mission where you have to thread the needle of your fighters and capital ships through this dust cloud. Otherwise, a shitload of enemy ships come out of the nethers to attack you. And at that point, you're fucked. So you really have to be very careful to make sure all your little individual ships stay in these little lanes. Otherwise, you're...
Yeah, I remember that one, actually.
Yeah, and you're also given a finite amount of time to do your mission objectives. Otherwise, they just come anyway. So it's very ham-fisted, but I like that. They've also added the mid-mission save option, unlike Homeworld 1, that wasn't an option. So you could always go back to a certain placeholder. But I think the user interface in Homeworld 2 was just a little bit more cluttered. There's something to be said about an unfettered playing field, Like, that's what I liked about Homeworld 1 is just you could put the UI away, just really marvel at the operatic space battles, It's pretty cool. I can't wait for it because they're doing a remake of that. Relic is
the HD remake.
Yeah, that's gonna look pretty cool. And I was actually checking out videos of their in progress, and it just looks absolutely stunningly awesome.
Yeah, I'm totally stoked for that one. I'm totally on board for that. I'm definitely buying that one. Yep.
Yeah, and I love the first Homeworld. I loved it. I thought it was just much better story wise, and than the second one. Although the second one did improve a lot, the first one is just. I mean, it's up there in the top 10 games of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
I really wish we could get a remake on Homeworld Cataclysm. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. I did get that one, too.
It was like a expand-alone, basically. It was like an expansion/standalone kind of thing. And
you could play a different race, I think, in that one.
And you could arm your mothership in that one.
That's right.
You could. The big twist on that one is you could put a gun on the side of the mothership and you could fly it around.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, they sort of did that with Homeworld 2 with mobile platforms where you can put guns on those, but yeah, it's such a good looking game. The other game I played was Vampire Masquerade. That game is 10 years old.
The original one, or the Bloodlines?
The Bloodlines one. Sorry.
Okay. You're like really diving into the archives.
We are. I'm topical. We are backspacing.
I see what you did there.
So here's the thing: that game is still being patched 10 years later by Troika Studios.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I'd just check it out, and they minor little fixes like icons and some of the bugginess, like that crash during cutscenes is gone. They also made it more compatible with Windows 8. I would have to say that Vampire Bloodlines is the best game that I've ever played.
I know exactly what you mean.
Its cutscenes are really rough. Like the dialogue is pretty bad, but I love that atmosphere, that sort of Matrix gothy baby doll aesthetic. A
lot of the environments are really amateurishly put together too. Like, a lot of the stuff in there looks like it was done by a modder or something like that.
Yeah, the set pieces are like missing parts, like where
But the writing in that is so tight.
Yeah,
and the fact that it's just like you can play that game any way you want.
Right. Yeah, it does leave it very open for you to decide. You can kill anybody you want in that game. Like it's very open in that sense. It's a hot mess.
Yeah.
But
that game had the misfortune. That game had the misfortune of coming out the same day as Half-Life 2.
Oh.
Yeah, I missed out on that one until recently. Yeah, it's fun. I'd recommend it. It was on for $4, I think, on Steam this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It might be gone now, but yeah.
Yeah, I picked that one up a long time ago, and I got to the point where it would crash every time I tried to go into a cinema, and I dropped it at that point. That was it. I was like, can't play it anymore. Sorry.
That's what they addressed in this patch recently, so might want to check it again if you.
Oh, I own it on Steam now. Yeah, I went back to it and actually I think I finished it. I can't remember though.
Oh, okay. So that's what I've been playing.
Nice.
Cool. And I've been enjoying it. Like I haven't taken a little break. I brought my computer down from Canada already. Like finally, I should say. Like, so I was out without a proper gaming rig for a few months now. So I'm back in town, you guys.
Yay!
Nice. So I'm going to be doing a video on Homeworld 2. That'll be on our site. So look for that.
I do want to see that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm going to be doing the mission with the cloud just to show you my frustration. So you'll see what that's all about. So yeah, look for that on our website. What about you, Nelson? What have you been playing?
Who, me?
Yeah, Nelson.
I've been playing, the standard fare. I don't know. I've been playing Spelunky and Broforce mainly. I'm sort of, kind of ish waiting for some of the games on my 2014 list to actually come out, so I can buy those and play them. But also just because I've been having quite a bit of fun with Spelunky, streaming it often and making. I killed Olmec for the 3rd time today. That was unexpected.
Very nice.
Yes.
I'm bad at it.
Dude, have you seen half my runs? My daily lasted all of 6 minutes and 40-something seconds today, so yeah, I'm still pretty damn bad at it. I just got a lucky streak with my Olmec kill today. But yeah, so Spelunky Broforce, really hoping Broforce comes to its final form soon, because it's starting to get a little boring. just a tiny bit. So I might put that one on the back burner for a bit until they come out with the final release. And I think that was basically it for me. I don't know, my schedule has been really screwed up lately, so just like the quick dive games where you can pick it up, hop in, play a little bit, and then die and then put it away. Those are kind of more my style at the moment. I don't really have any games where it would require me to sit at my PC for multiple hours.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot right now that's, really catching my eye.
Even like The Wolf Among Us, like that's maybe a couple hours at your desk, and then you finished your chapter.
I'm waiting for that to be completely released, all 5 chapters, because I had a better experience with the Walking Dead.
You don't like the episodic format?
Nah, not really.
I am totally with you on that. I don't understand why they have to release a game in those chunks. Like, you know what? Screw it. It's not fun. It's not quirky. It's not anything. It's just, it's irritating because you get a piece of a story and then you got to wait 2 months, 3 months, however long it takes them to release the next version. It's like, tell you what, hang on to the whole thing, develop it all, release it at once.
Well, you got to remember that they're getting paid up front by most people. And that allows them to kind of front load all of the development costs.
Okay, but seriously, The Walking Dead has made them fuck loads of money. So do they really need to continue on with that model?
It works, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely working for them, you know.
Yeah, I guess. It's to keep your gamers hungry, I suppose. But I don't know. It pisses me off.
It turns them into events, you know. It's like,
yeah,
you know, it ends up being an event when a month or when a release of this comes out. I'm sure that spikes sales again every time like a new, a new episode comes out or something like that. People buy it who didn't buy in at the beginning, and then at the end, you know, when there's people like Dan and you who want to play the entire completed thing, you know, they end up. I'm guessing these games probably have pretty significant legs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say
sales wise.
Like, given that example, when Episode 3 came out not that long ago, they actually kind of announced Episode 3 with a Steam sale for the Wolf Among Us. So, you know, I can see why they're doing it. They're doing it to drive sales, blah blah blah. But it's frustrating.
There's all kinds of cross promotion.
Oh yeah. But anyway, so yeah, that's all I've been playing. Good times.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to talk about news already? Wow, this is the fastest we ever got to news. All right. First on the agenda, you guys might have this on your news list already, but the Atari cartridges have been found.
Yes, I saw that.
Yes.
I've seen pictures of like a cartridge in a Ziploc bag, you know, looking all decrepit, or not the cartridge, the box or the manual. Have they actually posted pictures of like
digging it up in New Mexico, finding just
guys in hard hats with ET cartridges held above their heads. Yeah, I've seen the pictures.
Yeah. It's out. It's our national nightmare is over. We found the ET cartridges.
Thank God.
Yes.
Thank God.
We can rest easy tonight, folks.
But honestly, I still don't understand really what was the point of the whole thing, aside from some weird twist on publicity or something. Like,
well, I mean, it's kind of an archaeological expedition at this point, isn't it? I mean,
it's been a long time. Yeah,
it's been a while.
Years.
Finding the cartridges that were almost wholly responsible for the death of video games in 1984, I want to say.
Yeah.
83, 84, yeah. Yeah, those who do not remember their history are condemned to repeat it. So
Yeah. That's, I don't know. What do you guys think about the whole expedition of trying to dig those up? Like, what's your feelings? Obviously, you know mine now.
Yeah, I mean, I cut my teeth on the Atari. You know, that was my first console, which was purchased for me in 83, 84, so right at the dying end of the game. So it was kind of, that's my little, that's why I'm invested in this a little bit. I actually owned E.T.
Really?
Did you?
Yeah, it was one of the games that was bundled with the,
Take this. Here, just take it. We don't care. Just take it. Whatever. You want 3 or 4 copies? Give them to your friends?
I actually beat it. I actually beat that game. And I don't really even know what the point of it. So you get the little bits, you get out of the hole, then the spaceship comes and takes you away. Now, the caveat there is I had it on the easy toggle, so you know that's the only way I could. That's the only way I could beat it.
Psh, easy mode. Go figure.
Yeah. That game made no sense at all. Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, and pretty much every PS1 and PSP game is now available for the PS Vita. Just in case you're on the fence about that.
About this.
Yeah, so now you can visit the PlayStation Store, check out the download section, and find Silent Hill, which is the only game I'd probably be interested in playing for that. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Good news for you PS Vita if you, out there, you guy.
They're called the Council of 12.
Yeah, that's right. Powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be fun though. Playing Silent Hill on a Vita in your bed, under your covers, middle of the night,
Yeah. I was thinking like
eating your pants.
Parasite Eve, getting into that game again.
Yeah, the original Legacy of Kain or
Twisted Metal.
something like that.
Actually, you know what you should do? You should do Silent Hill on the Vita in that scenario I just laid out for you. Get your mic, get a webcam, and just record your reactions.
I'd have to somehow get the PS Vita screen too.
Oh no, you don't need that.
No, just my facial reactions.
Yeah.
Not even that. You could be under the covers
All
and
right.
just screaming and peeing your pants. Either or don't.
All right.
Whichever. It's
I'm
fine.
down. I'm down. I'll do it.
Maybe if listeners actually request it. Otherwise,
if listeners did, maybe for like a charity, if they donated something, sure, I'd do it. That's not open. That's not pulling that thread too much.
no.
Nah, probably.
All right. So for you Dark Chronicle fans out there, if you guys remember that game, Sony has just registered that trademark, which may hint at a reboot for the PS4. So if you guys don't know what Dark Chronicle was, it's a sleeper hit for the PS2 that featured one of the first procedurally generated dungeons and time traveling. And it was very. They also had the first ones to have cell shading and texture mapping. So it was a very good-looking game. It was a very unique game for the time. So there a lot of underground fans for this one. So people are very happy about that. So did you guys ever play Dark Chronicle?
I don't think I ever did play that one. No.
No.
I don't even know what that is. So
I rented it a long time ago, and I loved it, but I just didn't buy it. So that's good news. I mean, that's cool that they're bringing the classics out again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, that's all I got for news. Do you guys have anything?
No,
if you pre-order Mario Kart 8, you get a $10 prepaid MasterCard for gasoline. Order
Makes
Mario
sense.
Kart 8, get some gas.
I can see the synergy there. Yeah.
For all you blunt smokers out there, what is it? Call of Duty's marijuana-themed blunt force custom camo, so you can have, a machine gun covered in pot leaves. Yes.
Huh.
Pot leaves.
Yes.
Yeah, the leaves that make up the pot.
Oh,
They make the pot.
the marijuana
The
cigarettes.
marijuanas.
That's right. They make the marijuana cigarettes out of the leaves.
The reefer madness.
Huh. Well then,
Dude, it's been a really fucking light news week.
Yeah,
it really has in general.
I mean,
I'd say.
if we're already having to talk about E.T.,
That was actually pretty big news, I gotta say. I mean, that was national news. It was on
Whoa.
CNN page.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of impressive then.
Mhm.
Yeah, I posted some Skylander stuff on the Google Plus page, but I don't really care about Skylanders.
I do have one little other thing. The voice from the Stanley Parable, you can get him for Dota 2 now to be the announcer.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, for Dota 2.
If I was a Dota dude, I would actually get that.
I probably would get that too, just because that guy's awesome, whoever he is.
Speaking of voices, what was it? You can get a Snoop Dogg voiceover pack for your Call of Duties or something like that. I put up another post on Google Plus about it.
Oh, shizzle.
Like, why do people need this?
Yo, dog, shoot that guy.
I'm sure they're just kind of like, hey, Snoop Dogg, you want some money? Yes. Do this for us. Okay. We'll also give you a whole bunch of weed, too.
Snoop don't need no more weed. He's got. I think
He's
he's
Snoop
got
Lion now. Yeah,
That's true.
That's all behind him.
Oh, he's changed. Oh, man, I'm so behind the times.
Hmm.
And, yes, Cortana can't talk to kids under the age of 13. Are we familiar with Cortana?
From
The Halo
Yeah.
series,
Halo.
Master Chief's AI companion. Yeah, you can get her as a personal assistant on your Windows phone because Windows Phone. Everybody
Okay.
has one, right?
Okay.
But yeah, they've put a restriction on where if you are under the age of 13, Cortana will not talk to you. Not allowed.
Huh.
For some.
How does Cortana know how old you are?
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I am not sure. But yeah, she's the voice-activated personal assistant on the Windows Phone. Blah blah blah. Will not speak to anyone under the age of 13 who attempts to use her services, according to CNET. because Cortana is designed to collect data on its users to assist it in finding answers to questions, this data is sent to Microsoft services, which means because of the Children's Online Privacy Act of something or other, if you're under the age of 13, they cannot collect data on you. So, but yeah, it's I don't know how it. Oh, sorry. If she doesn't recognize, or it doesn't recognize or grade voice patterns of someone's age, Cortana recognizes how old her user is only if she is told a specific age. So, really, it's not even going to work. Hey, Cortana, can you show me boobies? 1 moment, please. Here are your boobs. Yeah. Age restrictions, that's almost like censorship in a way.
It is almost like censorship in a way.
I have a dog named Segway.
Speaking of cats.
Hey, yo! So the topic of the night is?
Dogs.
Dogs?
Oh, wait. No, censorship.
Much censure. Much censor. Such a maze.
Very wow.
Censorship in games. Censorship in general of games.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we talked about this earlier in an earlier show, and what I mentioned when South Park: Stick of Truth was banned in Australia and the EU unless they remove some scenes. The anal probe and the abortion minigame were ones that were, which are also very funny. They're hilarious. But if you want to go way back in history of censorship in video games, let's talk about Custer's Revenge for the Atari 2600.
Since we're already there, why not?
Might as well. See, it was sold behind the counter at Consumers Distributing and Radio Shack, but us kids had a 14-year-old friend who was able to buy it for our 6-year-old self. Yes. These days, we giggled at it. It was so stupid. It was ridiculous. Just a little grin he had in his mouth and his wiener hanging out.
Yo, man, I'm gonna need you to boot this video game for me, Kay.
But, these days parents are buying these MA18 games for the kids because they have no idea what they're getting.
No, because their kids won't leave them alone. So it's just like, shut up, child. Have the thing. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Want an iPad and a cell phone with that too? Okay.
Babysit. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, it's anachronistic, regional censorship. Australians can watch any of the banned scenes from South Park on the YouTubes. Does interacting with a Simon electronic game that shoves a giant black dildo up Randy Marsh's ass when you make a mistake warp our children?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it's hilarious. But it probably would fuck up your children. So just don't fucking buy it for them. That's all I'm going to say about censorship.
So that's a thing that happens in the game, huh?
Yeah. You
Wow.
can look that up on YouTube.
So what do you... there's sort of two sides to this coin, though. There's the government imposed restrictions, and then there's the kind of the self-censorship that goes on. The famous example of that is when Wolfenstein was not allowed on Nintendo consoles because Nintendo has a very strict policy against any kind of religious iconography or swastikas in their games, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, there's actually several games that have not shown up on Nintendo consoles because of the specific policy. Do you think it's the place of government to kind of put these kinds of limitations in place, or do you think the industry should be policing itself?
Well, they do.
Ooh, that's
They do self-police. Well, no, it's look at what happened with the whole, back in the Janet Jackson, the Super Bowl nipple.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so okay, they went a little bit crazy with that, and it was kind of stupid. But after that, the FCC started, fining people, companies $2 million, whereas before it was like $8,000 charge. Oh well, whoop-de-doo. So it really changed the industry, and I think the video game industry too, just followed suit.
Well, I think you see these kinds of progressions in every medium. You look back at the history of films and comic books and music, and it gets to a point where it has a kind of cultural saturation that makes people start to sit up and take notice of the effect that it might be having on children and stuff like that, right? I mean, with films, you have the MPAA, which was put in place basically to self-regulate the industry and provide these restrictions that served as guidelines. Video games have imposed something very similar to that. With comic books, it was the Comic Code that was in place for a really long time. Mm-hmm. All of these are kind of voluntary measures on behalf of the actual manufacturers that say we're going to put something kind of easy to understand on the label of these things to make sure that you know what you're getting your kids into.
Yeah. And then they got rid of it. They stopped doing that.
It's interesting that you brought up, like film industry as well, because a lot of the ratings in film, compared to video games, a rating system or the things that need to be displayed or what have you in a movie versus a video game, it seems in the film industry it's a lot more lenient, whereas in video games they're super, almost hyper strict about it. Like, I had a total example for this, but I forgot where it is. But anywho, it just seems like with a video game, if there's certain events like nudity or sex or stuff like that, that game is more likely to be regulated with a higher or stricter age rating. Whereas in movies, it's like, oh, it's sort of a tasteful sex scene. Psh, it's fine, PG-13.
Some of these...
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian.
Sorry, go ahead. No, after you, Dan.
Well, I'm going to give you a list of censor games that weren't necessarily banned for what Nelson just said. So Final Fantasy IV, it had to remove any Christian references, so the mage doesn't pray, she wishes.
Right.
Half-Life in Germany, human characters when shot or killed sit down and start rocking back and forth. Little Big Planet was pulled from the U.S. shelves because of quotes from the Quran in the music.
Oh,
That's
wow.
Right.
Yeah. And so, not that Muslims at all cared. They didn't care at all. It's just something that the company went ahead and did.
Right.
And then also Parappa the Rapper 2. So they changed the lyric from "Tastes better than wine" to "You better get in line." I just thought that was pretty funny. Parappa the Rapper. So that's just ridiculous.
There's a number of just funny, or not funny, but just strange examples of censorship, though. Like Castlevania 4, there's a quote-unquote nude statue in Castlevania 4, and in the US release, she's got basically kind of like a robe over the boobs. But honestly, it's like, if you look at the image and compare the two, really, it's hardly anything. Or like when Mortal Kombat the blood was now changed to sweat. Also,
SNES, I remember that.
Yeah. The Japanese version of Earthbound Mother 2 versus the American version. The American version, they got rid of the cross on the hospital. It was just like a Red Cross, but it's still considered religious iconography, so they had to pull it. Or in DuckTales, the tombs or coffins had a Christian cross on them, and in the North American version, it's got R.I.P. instead. Like, you could also go with other examples, like a lot of the Nazi symbols and stuff like that. It's strange how in North America, or swastikas and things like that, in North America, it's totally fine to ship games with that, but in Germany they're like, nope, we don't want any games that contain this iconography.
Yeah, and you can understand why there'd be a bit more sensitivity there.
Yeah,
a little bit, but I mean, also, I don't know. It just seems a little bizarre. Kind of like they just.
It seems like almost. It seems like being that sensitive to it kind of lends it a little more power, maybe, than it needs. Like we should be. I mean, you look at Mel Brooks making fun of Nazis and the producers and stuff like that. It feels like we should be able to laugh at this kind of stuff by now. We should be able to use it as sort of fodder for entertainment rather than being so sensitive about it. Something that old, anyways.
Yeah.
It's actually a historical thing at this point.
Yeah.
But it also kind of boils down to how it's being used in video games. Like, swastikas and whatnot kind of go in two directions. Like, you can use it to kind of portray a historical event, or you can also use it to kind of signify, for example, hate groups and stuff like that. Obviously, which one would you consider the lesser of two evils, quote unquote? For historical, I would totally be alright with it. If you were using it to promote hate groups, no, not at all. I don't know. It's weird how there's so many, how government gets involved with it, how all these committees get involved with it, how religion gets involved with it. But I guess it also kind of boils down to the whole church versus state thing as well. You know, you can't avoid it in government or day-to-day life. So it go figure. You can't avoid it in video games.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fact of the matter is, it's a medium that's that's growing in appeal, and like you said, I mean, things from video games are starting to penetrate, popular culture.
Yeah.
People, it's not just a kids thing anymore. It's not just for a certain segment of the population, and along with that comes a certain amount of responsibility, I guess. And I think my take on it has always been that I think it's better for the industry to self-regulate. Rather than to have governmental restrictions placed on it or something like that. But
but the problem with that is to let the industry self-regulate. There's always going to be someone who's like, well, let's see how far we can push it.
Right, and that kind of thing is absolutely necessary. I think. I think that kind of approach to these situations is healthy. I mean, if you don't have people asking those kinds of questions, then you end up the industry will end up stagnating.
Yeah, that's right. There's always people pushing the envelope. I think a big thing with the South Park game was, in fact, to push as far as they could go, like an abortion mini game. I think they are breaking new ground with that.
The abortion minigame was cut for the European version. Anal probing references were removed from the European version.
Yeah, and the Australian version, and a little koala bear was put in its place.
What?
Yeah.
That's right.
So
I wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. I don't know what else more I can really add. I agree with Brian. The industry does need to do its part to regulate, but also get the studios that want to push the envelope a little bit. And I think now we're in an age of indie development, green light, and we're going to see games that not only push us to ask us questions that we probably don't want to ask, but also, make us think a little bit. And that is where it breaks into from just a form of entertainment to actual art. And I think that's something that we all kind of want to see. We all kind of want to see a game that's perceived as art rather than for the sake of itself, rather than for just a monetary. And we're starting to see that. We'll see. I think it's I'm looking forward to where the future is going. I don't think it's really a problem. I don't think censorship is really a problem, in my opinion.
No, not really. Brian also put up sent us a pretty good example of government restrictions on gaming.
Right. Yeah. So basically China is set to allow video game consoles to be imported for the first time in 14 years.
Yes, right. I heard about this.
But there are some asterisks on that. So, okay. So China has announced its new software censorship guidelines that developers will need to follow if they hope to have their games approved for release by the Chinese Cultural Department, which means this is government censorship, and as only China can do it. So they have they have a list of things that are outlawed. Basically, this is what they call it: outlawed content, gambling related content, anything that violates China's constitution, anything that threatens China's national unity, sovereignty, or territorial integrity. So no Battlefield 4.
That's really open ended. Wow.
Oh, it gets better. Anything that harms the nation's reputation, security, or interests. Anything that instigates racial or ethnic hatred or harms ethnic traditions and cultures.
That one's kind of a
anything
key, though.
Yeah, anything that violates China's policy on religion by promoting cults or superstitions,
Hmm.
anything that promotes or incites obscenity, drug use, violence, or gambling, anything that harms public ethics in China's culture and traditions. You want nebulous, that one. Anything that harms public ethics or China's culture or traditions. Anything that insults, slanders, or violates the rights of others, or any other content that violates the law.
See that last
So,
one.
Wow.
That last one's super open ended.
well,
Uh,
I mean that I think that refers to like Chinese like judicial law. You know, anything that has content that violates Chinese judicial law.
Sure.
So, yeah, the one that says anything that harms public ethics or China's culture and traditions can literally be just about anything.
Right.
So, yeah, these are the rules that basically that console developers are going to have to play by if they want their games to be sold in one of the biggest markets in the entire world.
And
Well,
I have a feeling it's going to take a while for them to figure out what is kosher by the standards and what is not. Like, there's going to be a huge, or hopefully not a very long, but there'll probably be a pretty decently long alignment period. And how long it takes for them to kind of, will this pass the mustard, or will they totally reject our game because of it? And,
I see Nintendo doing really well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they've already got games that are family friendly and really have no. It's very inwardly focused rather than making any social commentary whatsoever. Yeah, I'd see them, and then that being sort of the standard that people follow. If you're a Chinese person, would you like Nintendo games?
I wouldn't know because I probably haven't played video games in 14 years.
That's right.
No, they have video games. I mean, the
Oh, right.
Nintendo V comes from China, doesn't it?
Nintendo V?
Oh,
Yeah.
man. I'm so glad you brought
Have
that
you
up.
never seen that?
I've never seen that. No. Nintendo V.
It's a
Google
Nintendo
the
Wii ripoff.
Okay.
Nintendo V,
No,
VII.
That's no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No,
it's a thing.
I'm honest to God.
Is this gonna be a Rick Ashley thing?
Nope.
Nope.
Do it.
And,
Absolutely not.
V. No.
VII.
fucking- That's no.
The Nintendo V.
When we get done here, watch some of the YouTube videos on it. They're hilarious.
Nintendo V. That is crazy.
You kind of want one now, don't you?
There's actually like double game. So there's actually like a Game Boy ripoff too.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
NE double games. NE double games.
Nice.
Wow. I'm not gonna get any sleep tonight.
No, probably not.
Oh, believe me, the world of Chinese knockoff video games is a deep dark hole.
Nintendo Polystation.
Yep. Oh yeah, the Polystation. That's a good one too.
Oh my god. The Polystation. Wow.
So what do you guys think about some of those other kind of gaming scandals, like that still fall under the purview of censorship, like the hot coffee mod, but also that creepy developer who figured out or used the mocap for Ellen Page's game to kind of make a alternative view angled for the shower scene, probably for his own personal pleasure. I don't know.
Well, that kind of stuff has been going on since Tomb Raider. I mean, there's always going to be people doing prurient things with any kind of medium, whether it's video or painted art, or I mean, I'm sure the first picture that was drawn on a cave wall was a naked woman.
Or at least a giant dick.
The thing that,
Probably.
if we were going to go back to this was back in February. So when that scandal sort of hit, it was the issue was that it was skinned, anatomically correct. Like there was everything there was like the naughty bits were there.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a Ken doll. It was
In obsessive detail.
It was there. It was all there. And so the question was, well, why? Why would you have that? Why would you skin that on there if there was no intention of actually having a nude scene? And so that's sort of where the controversy came from.
And now that developer is on all sorts of lists.
It's not the first time he's done it either. Every game that guy's made has a shower scene.
Yep,
that has been hacked, so you can see the naughty bits.
Heavy Rain, Indigo Prophecy, they all had gratuitous shower scenes. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. For no reason.
So now he's the perverted shower scene developer guy.
Well, I don't think any big name, and that's kind of the sad part, is that now, like, she's, Ellen Page is pretty big. And I don't think any actor of her caliber is going to want to do this for this reason, because it really does sully her image. I would have to say.
Well, I mean, there was the famous thing with Courtney Love taking Activision to court for using Kurt Cobain's likeness in one of the Guitar Hero games as well.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. He was in was it Warriors of Rock? I'm looking at my. Yeah, I think he was in the original version of Warriors of Rock, but you could have him singing like "Our Lips Are Sealed" by the Bangles or something like that. You know,
That's terrible. That's just awful.
Oh,
but
wow.
he could be like your in-game avatar, and Courtney Love took Activision to court over this.
Huh.
Yeah, I think she's got a case there.
Yeah.
She's got a case of something. I don't know if it's treated.
She's got a case of the deep down crazies.
Yeah, she is batshit insane.
Oh, man.
Although I did hear that her and David Grohl made up at the Video Music Awards.
Really?
They shared a hug.
After she accused him of hitting on her daughter or something like that? There's some weird shit going on with that,
Yeah, some shit. Anyway.
Weird
What are
shit
we
and Courtney Love seem to stick together quite well.
Yeah, they fly in fairly tight formation.
All right. What else do we want to talk about?
Yeah, we pretty much killed that topic.
Yeah.
Gameplay videos.
Yep.
What do you got on deck there, Dan? What are you thinking of doing some recordings of?
Well, I already mentioned Homeworld 2.
Yeah.
I might do the EverQuest Project 1999.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I might do something like that. If I could find it's like 99% boredom, 1% excitement. It's really
You're gonna have to do a fair amount of editing.
Yeah, it has to be tight. So, what else? That's pretty much all I have in the pipe.
Just cut together some exciting moments and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Huh.
Not
Any
much
games?
really
Any
out
games
there.
you would want to review or anything like that?
Well, I kind of trying to get into the beta of. Oh man, now I have to look it up. You got me on the spot here.
That's fine.
Might have to edit this pause out.
Vamp.
Yeah. It's a game. It kind of looks like World of Warcraft. It's an MMO. It's PvP oriented.
Hearthstone?
WildStar.
WildStar.
WildStar Online. I kind of want to check that out.
Yeah?
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah. It's very much a WoW knockoff. Like if you were to do an image search of WildStar, you'd be like, "What? This is World of Warcraft," and it does look, but it's more. Reminds me of some PvP based, like the stuff that I liked about the PvP in World of Warcraft. It's focusing on that. So,
Right.
Yeah,
That's one thing that was actually pretty enjoyable in the World of Warcraft days, was the old PvP.
Yeah, Alterac Valley, man.
Oh, man.
Loved it.
Being a rogue in AV was just so much fun.
Being a hunter.
Oh, yeah, that's like hitting the win button. Just roll your face on the keyboard and you pretty much win.
Yeah, they seriously got nerfed because of that.
I'm gonna do my impression of any PvP encounter when you're a paladin, and I'm dead.
You could
Yay, we're starting, and I'm dead.
You could just bubble. What are you talking about? Bubble and immunity.
Like,
Sacrifice.
Paladin, and I'm dead.
And it's gone. Yeah.
Unless you were
Ugh.
Reddit, and then it was pretty much like, oh my god, run!
Retardants, as we call them. Yeah, no, you don't want to be a ret paladin. It's just not a good thing to do.
Yeah, I actually played a shaman. That was my go-to class.
Oh, you're a chamois, huh?
Shamans were fun.
Yeah, I love the chain lightning. Everybody loved me.
Oh, yeah.
Chain lightning, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So I miss World of Warcraft, and as a matter of fact, I'm probably going to jump into that when my sister gets done her semester. So
Nice.
maybe I'll even put some of those on and see how the World of Warcraft is nowadays.
So you're just going to mainline it then?
Yeah,
Just hook it to your veins.
you got it. I'm still paying for it. I've never canceled my subscription.
And really good news, they now make Depends for men.
Depends. I got a poop sock. You don't need a
Poop sock. Poop sock.
That's what poop socks are for. We're making friends.
Lacey think that's funny too.
Oh boy.
That's what that's for.
Oh wow. Okay, so
Yeah. Look up poop sock. Well, no,
no,
actually,
no. Also, do not look up
cat ass.
Also, do not look up pink sock.
No,
Okay.
No, yeah, no. That's I can't think of a single good thing that could possibly result in.
No.
How about you, Brian? What kind of videos are you looking at making? I know you're gonna do some Binding of Isaac.
Isaac, yeah, I'm gonna.
Your first one was actually really good. I like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get more done in the Binding of Isaac series. I'm gonna do it a little FTL Advanced Edition, and
Cool.
I'm looking for something else that I might do right now. I'm just trying things on, seeing what games might have legs. So, got to do something that will keep people's interest. You know, you could only play so many fighting games before people would lose interest in this video series on that. So
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I was considering some more Goat Simulator gameplay, but then I realized no, that game is just horrible. I wish I didn't buy it.
It's coming for the PS3, I think.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
How exciting!
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, yeah. I'm also gonna give up on lift rousers as far as gameplay videos because really, how many times can you watch me blow up in a row?
I probably watched that a few times.
You should just do a supercut, edit all your explosions together with the expletives that follow them.
Yeah. Fuck!
Actually,
Fuck.
That's a good idea for Spelunky.
Fuck.
It's a very good idea for Spelunky. Just a clip reel of my reactions to my various deaths, because some of them have been funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking.
I used to have a signature image that I used back in my EQ days that was made up of, like, I took screenshots every time I got killed by something. So there was because it would give you a little line in the chat that said you were killed by so and so, and I had this signature that was made up of all the times I got killed. You know, Kazakh Tool says Senelian.
I remember that one. Oh man,
yeah,
that's too funny. You were always the one. Like they brought you specifically for that reason, because you were
we
always.
need somebody to go eat a death touch.
Yeah, it was always you.
I'm your man.
You were the Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, before it was a thing.
Yep.
Well, yep.
Is that it? I think that's
it.
Talk about tonight.
I think so. That's a pretty good topics there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Go on to the backspace.ca. That's our website. Yeah, we got lots of videos on there. What we're talking about,
and links to all the other places like Google Plus, YouTube, Twitter.
Yeah, our Backspace. You can tweet us at that, or send us the old-fashioned email if you want.
It's your one-stop video game entertainment portal.
Yeah.
Yep. You like that?
I
came up with that off the top of my head.
That's our new subline. All right.
Well, that was a fun. Have a good night.
This cake looks good.
Does your video contain heavy expletives? Fucking hell. I'm gonna edit that out.
No,
does your video contain a
sense.
lot of swearing?
Swear?
Yeah, your take 2 sounded not forced at all.
No.
Let's go with that one. Depends. I got a poop sock. You don't need a
Poop sock. Poop sock.
Ooh, that's what poop socks are for. We're making friends.
Lacey think that's funny too.
That's crazy.
You put Disney Infinity? That was a joke.
Was it?
You sure it was, Dan?
I was half joking.
Sure it was. You can't see it, but this is my believing you face. Next sound you are going to hear is me peeing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and then
I listen to them obsessively.
yeah.
Do you?
Oh yeah, the whole day.
Yep.
Sitting there going, God, you idiot! Why did you say that? God, you're so dumb. Be better next time. God damn it.
Dan's got kind of a peaky voice.
What do you mean?
You got a
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You got a bit of trouble in that voice.
What are you talking about? You guys, you could go fuck yourself.